Hello, it's Fan back with another Apex Legends, and I know I probably gonna be later than expected. I busy stuff, and I know me right now. It's past when first day of groups, so I've kind of had myself not watch it, but I am gonna move move things around on this tier list. Land faves. I don't. Oops. We're gonna have your BB finals. BB. I forgot how this because it's not usually winners one, losers are what have. I think top 10 from groups goes on, and then you have like a redemption round. Teams. All right. So this is gonna be my 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 little tier list for this. And we'll start with the teams that I think are gonna get eliminated. Ooh, actually, I'm just gonna well, it's because there's always going to be some wild cards in there. Uh, I will be using a little help from ALGS. I see the teams who's on it. I'll try not to look at the results or anything for this. Okay. So we have all the team names here. I'm not to be honest. I didn't have this up. Probably wouldn't remember these teams from just like the little logo they had. Ain't gonna be needed. We're gonna start with um what is the line here? Zipline Mafia. I'm gonna probably put in eliminated. The roster of Weeks, Kaza, and Fido and XUs. I am mispronouncing these names like a motherfucker. They from what I remember is they hate to say this, but they barely made it into this LAN. Finals. Yeah, they barely made it into. They had the lowest points in EMEA. They barely made it over HM and stay healthy. Teams like that. Uh, Kind of crazy that there's like a lot of big hitters that didn't make it to um into Pro League, or sorry, into this land that maybe should have. I'm not saying that they are not deserving of uh going to land here, but it is definitely quite a bit of the surprise they made it to this land. Um, so yeah, Zipline Mafia is going to be one of the hated teams for me, and that's kind of gonna be how that's kind of it's gonna be. I mean, usually like these teams who barely got in, like Belgrade, Faith, and Kilo, and Stop Gaps, gonna be another team that he barely just got in. Kind of a red flag. Um, the same here as that. So I'll find out which one this is. I'm pretty sure it might just be this one. Yeah, I'll just that one. Another yeah, it's just these teams who barely like got in, like they're 10 points behind Genji. Genji is probably going to be an outlier here. There are going to be definitely outliers because Genji got 90th. Um, I is an flip is their logo. Right. I is another one of those teams where you're like barely made it. You've qualified off winning match points. You are the underdog. Um, 10 spots for this. Um, 10 spots for this land. So, or for yeah for this land from APAC North. You gotta put them. You gotta kind of put them lower. Because there's definitely a lot of heavy hitters. Like you have Zeta, who of course has they are basically the Falcons of APAC North. You have Satuki, Mike, and Yuka. Um, you have E36 with Obli, Jasuna, Snap, Yulori Man, Peace. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that. On the limit, like really good teams, really good teams. They kind of went into this thing of you know going um going with like the really stacked rosters and of like spreading out talent, kind of how like NA is right now. Honestly, a lot of the talent is consolidating into one teams. You got Team Liquid, you got Falcons, Under Thieves. Unfortunately, they did not make it, and unfortunately, I'm gonna put these guys at wildcard just because Alberlelli has done it before. They didn't boot camp, which is uh, definitely land red flag. But didn't yeah, they didn't do too hot in Pro League. They finished, I believe, in 13th Pro League. Beat out teams like Godlike and Sacred are in Crazy Thieves. Not by like pure luck. I'd never probably say that. But they th- their hot start definitely carried them to that, and they really fizzled out. Like by the time uh the end of the split came. Hmm. And then now I'm gonna go to like I'm gonna be honest. On these teams, I'm not gonna know too much. So this is where uh pro league standings kind of fit in, and this is where um definitely definitely like storylines are gonna probably come in, and how big of a name you guys are. So um yeah, I'm gonna move on to more of these American teams. Try to knock that out. Flat is gonna be just where is it? Oh, assuming flat. Yeah, I don't think there's a chance in hell that they they make it out and do not get eliminated. Like there, it's just so many experienced teams at this land, and I don't think Nano Nano will like adapt really well to these lobbies. Not saying that he's bad or anything, nor is that team bad. I'm just saying that these guys have a lot of these teams have proven that they can kind of compete at this level where uh, Nano has historically been in and out of pro league, where they're kind of like that one baseball player who breaks at AAA, and then once they make it to the pros, they don't do too hot. They're like a quadruple A player. That's what that kind of for me is. Um, they could definitely prove me wrong. I just honestly don't see that happening. Another one of the teams that surprised many, but I honestly don't have doing too hot is Dinos. Actually, I'm gonna put them in a wild card. I'm gonna give them a little bit more respect. Dinos can definitely be a wild card, like Tino says. I think they have really good potential to make it further. I just honestly, I just it's kind of hard because when you have a CT team like that, you're hoping for the best. You want them to succeed. You want them to, you know, do really good at the highest level. But I'm kind of hoping, they do well. But actually, I'm gonna put them at eliminated. I'm gonna put this at eliminated, but I feel like if they were in wildcard, they would be at the very. I will preface that. Um, because CC teams are it's really hard to get behind that, and this is gonna be they're gonna be put through the ringer. I don't I don't know how these guys will do, and under the pressure of all the fans watching, all what what do they play like with expectations behind? Um, Another team that I'm gonna put in I'm gonna put a couple more teams in wildcard. AJ and JDG are definitely gonna be some wildcards. For me, it's mainly because Nizul is just, I mean, not Nizul. Yanya is kind of like we said in our other video, is he will either play normal and play his aggressive playstyle and they'll absolutely mate, or they try to do this playstyle and just get shit stomped. To be honest, I don't know how that will turn out in this land. I definitely think teams will punish them for that. Not too sure. JDD is also a team that is going to wildcard solely because Naughty and Shubi and Jelly, or not Jelly. Ooh my gosh, loading has hasn't played a lane before. I don't believe, like as a trio. And then Naughty and Shubi have been out of like LAN for a little while. And another thing is Naughty. This could be Naughty's first LAN at GL, so it's gonna be a definitely a learning experience for that. Um, that's kind of what I had like Shopify with, but um, yeah, I'm gonna put them in wildcards. Going down to some EU teams I could think that could be eliminated. Like Team Heretics, uh, from the scrims I've watched, they haven't really done it for me. I think they're also gonna be at Elam because how many teams I have left? 8. No. I have like about 31 and I'm so there's gonna be some teams that don't make it into these rows. I have about 19. Most likely, one or two more teams are gonna go into this eliminated slash wildcard spot. But yeah, Heretics haven't been playing too well in scrims. Um, I believe they are 24th in scrims. Dory actually probably another good shout to put into eliminated. Yeah, usually when you don't do too well scrims, it's kind of a side. But again, there are exceptions that Unity might actually also go into this. I didn't really realize how bad they were doing. Hope that's the right one. It has a little star. I believe that's Trinity. It's just sideways. Oh wait, no, this one's. Whose logo is this X one? X, go give it to you. That is. I'm trying to scroll for it. I really don't. Oh, that's resolve or reload D. Like, speaking of that, while we're here, not horrible. It's not very promising. They'll also put them in the eliminated. Yeah, so scrims. Scrims kind of fell sorry and are a really good hated. Um, so I'll. It might be a hot take. They did win regionals, but yeah, it's it's kind of rough rough to put them higher since they did win and they did win and finish in fifth, but there's a lot of teams who did underperform. Uh, in this. Um, and I think this might be a good spot to just probably see that. like Havoc didn't do the best either. Okay. Havoc didn't do the best either. So you know what? If these teams are in eliminated, I'm morely comfortable with moving up a team like Denos. In order, probably I would probably go like that. So in order, this is how I would have like wild cards eliminated. I really don't give a shit, to be honest. You're eliminated. I don't I don't think there needs to be like um any real alignment there. Going into teams who do have a good shot. And this is where you kind of have to pick a team. Actually, I'm gonna put Neo here too. They haven't looked good in scrims in League. They finished fifth. Yeah, yeah. I think top three is kind of where I want to see you if you're like in different regions. All right. So that means we should have a good amount of finals, maybe finals locks, plan faves, and teams. So let's start getting to that and get out of this like negativity tiers. Um, and one of the first teams I kind of want to put in this redeem team is gonna be Genji. Like, I think they're one of the better teams. They've honestly just have been straight up underperforming. I don't know what's going on with that. Does it lead to a roster change after this land if they do bad? Potentially. I feel like they're too good not to make finals. I think it is definitely a finals bust for him. PXX also goes to this tier for me. I don't like unless they prove otherwise. They weren't really that good in scrims, so kind of like you're forcing my hand to like if unless you prove otherwise. You kind of I can't put you really higher. Uh, Another team for fun. I don't know what to see, man. Like it's it's like high. I feel like there's high expectations for a lot of these EU teams, and they just don't kind of pull it out the way you. They kind of don't. I think you can poke holes into their case. I'll move them up to finals maybe. Finals maybe. I think they have a better shot than these other two teams. So I'll put them up there, but like it's just really different. Um, Us is probably a redeem team. I don't see them making finals. To be honest, it's just you have Deeds, you have White Jelly, you have Dupe, or they're like JDG where they don't have like any superstar players, but they do enough to make you kind of think like, hey, is this gonna work out? And they had 87 points. They're tied with Dinos. So again, Dupe kind of having a lot of experience with LAN and having flashes of success really carries them into this redeem team tier. I do think they do better than any of the wildcard teams. I do think they actually do better than PXX. Definitely not better than in my humblest opinion. Um. Oh, another team that I don't want to put this. There's a couple EU teams that I can see maybe doing good, and maybe not doing good. Make EU great again. They've lasted a while. I think they're kind of at the bottom of the team area. I think we're gonna add like a couple more and finish this out, but don't think don't I don't think they're gonna be the best. Um, RRQ is maybe. I think my hot take RRQ is probably a redeem team and gets eliminated there. I don't like honestly. I don't know, but they're probably the best out of these. No, I think Genji still goes legacy, but I think Strafe. I like this team. Um, actually, do that's it's hard. It's hard. You want to like this team, but I don't. From if recollection serves me right, Easy Flash hasn't played LAN in a while. And is this team gonna really make some noise? They don't have like any superstar players again. Like kind of like one of those teams, but it seems like they have good cohesion. That's kind of what you need. Um, they didn't play Stanley well. Shout out my boy Metro. That dude is a demon, by the way. Too bad he got uh, dropped or benched. I don't remember. To be honest, but I do want to shout out some uh some people from my last video because I think they made some good points against me on my last tier list video. I just need to pull up the comment because I want to put it. I had a little thread with someone named or someone named Darude on acid at Darude. Shout out you, but Sharky Sharky not going and getting the respect he deserves is um probably a bit criminal for me. I think I ended up putting him. I think he was a yeah he's a B. He ended up in B tier. I do think that that's a finals maybe team though. I don't think I can lock them for finals, but I definitely do. I think they're probably one of the best teams that are probably going to be in finals maybe. Um, yeah, but I got sidetracked. I apologize. We do need to add more, and just looking at these teams, there's I'm gonna have a hot take here. I think Reject Divinity is not that good and will be in this redeem. I think they are definitely better than some of these teams, but I kind of have them right here maybe. Yeah, they did well in Pro League, but I just honestly I don't think they're gonna do too well. Yeah, they did do 10th in scrims, so definitely could prove me wrong. But I just personally I don't think they're. Uh, and then one more team that I could probably have in here is maybe GG, maybe Glaming Gladiators. trying to look. Same last and Lufka. I like this team. Uh, solid, pretty solid EU team. I just don't. Again, I don't think they outclass a lot of these teams. They did 12th in scrims, and some of these teams that did worse in scrims are going to be higher than them. Um, uh, I don't know. Like I'm saying, let's get to the tier where I hope a lot of these teams prove me wrong, especially Genji. I really like. I hope these top three teams kind of prove me wrong, and I hope they make it to finals. But you know, can't root for everyone. Someone has to get eliminated in this style of tournament, and if I'm thinking realistically, I could see these teams getting eliminated in that round. Yeah, it's just hard not to think that. And there's probably gonna be another NA. There's probably gonna be an NA team, another NA team, and for me, it's kind of hard to think of the teams that are gonna be here. And honestly, I kind of don't want to do it, but I think I'm gonna have to. This year for LAN, this year it's kind of been a weird year for PK, and they finished ninth. They didn't end up that good. They were 22nd in um in scrims compared to visions that ended up at 6. Ugh. Honestly, I feel like this would be the team that I move down Genji from the top spot in here and be perfectly fine with that. Um, but yeah, that's a hard one. I know if you know me, not the biggest dropped I'm not the biggest drop guy, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Like I I don't know what it is, to be honest, but I don't think like when I watched EK, I they I don't know. They really saw the roster, but they don't wow me. I feel like they kind of have this same issue with like 100 Thieves where, you know, you have two players who kind of probably fit better playing the same role. I just don't. I don't know. Going to finals, maybe teams though. I definitely have more teams, and this is where NA teams are probably gonna stack up. I'm gonna have British Pro, Soul, Sentinels, and for fun. If I have DK, do I move for fun? I think I move for fun down, and I think they go like right here. I just, for me, I don't think I could put them same tier as these. BP has been good. They're, they're 20th. They were 20th in scrims. They were second in Pro League. Priestess has been a man on a mission, and I think if they can keep up that momentum behind them, I think they do pretty well, but they're currently third for me. Sentinels is going to be just they won last year. Can they do it again? You never fully count out Blinkser. That guy is That guy is insane. He is definitely a playoff riser, as some basketball fans kind of like to go on that term. But let's see how that works out. I definitely do think they make some noise. And this is where I think um they come in. I am blanking on the names. VKG, yeah. Man. VKG, I think they go there. That's I feel like that's a good spot for them. Let's see what they were doing in scrims. They were like 34th. Not a good scrim set. Um, from them, I keep them, but Liquid QQ. I don't want to rule them out yet. They are just way too good to be ruled out. Uh, and I believe historically they've done pretty good. I think they actually. Oh, okay, I am blinking a lot today. I'm sorry, but I think he and VKG did end up winning. Yeah, they ended up winning mid-season playoffs last year. Would I be surprised if they make finals? No, no, not really. But I do think they are a finals maybe team. And we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and this is where I think Visions come in. And I think they're at the bottom of the finals, maybe. They've done really good in scrims. They've done really good in Pro League. Sixth in scrims and second in Pro League, or third? Third in Pro League. And yes, I know having the second place team in all of Pro League in wildcard is kind of crazy, but again, there's a lot of question marks. Whereas Zach Mazer, I'm more comfortable with. Okay, finals locks. This is where a lot of these APAC teams are going to probably start funneling in, and this is where Data Division comes in. I think they're a finals lock. I think On Limit is a finals lock. I think I'm Trope. I think I accidentally. I think these teams are definitely finals favorites. I'm not gonna put too many teams in land faves. Elite EU is probably gonna be. I really didn't think that through. Hey, really didn't think that through. Elite EU actually has to slide down, and where I'd put Sentinels. I think I have like that. They kind of grasp. Wolves are definitely going to go up. E36 probably goes up. Shopify is definitely going to go up here. And honestly, I know this is gonna in alliances. I know this is gonna spoil the tier, but we still need to claim who is gonna be the top dogs. Anyway, so with this, Data Division has had the best scrims, but honestly, they make finals. Okay. Alliance is probably gonna be the next team. They've had pretty good scrims, like in all of the scrims that they've done in Eternal. So I, and come on, it's uh, it's Hawkins. It's unlucky when you have those two guys. You it's almost finals or bust for them, and I think I'm gonna make a good stab at it. Going on to Unlimit with Higa Lori Man and Peace. Like again, you have those two guys who are definitely probably gonna make finals. Trope. I think I have them too high, to be honest. I'm Yeah, I definitely fricked up. Trope, I don't have you in a finals locked. I do think honestly down here somewhere. They kind of you know. All right. Yeah, Kino Trope kind of script my gaps. I do think they're more. Yeah, they did really bad in scrims and pro league. Not good either. Yeah, I don't know how they script my grasp, but they're probably definitely eliminated. But that makes it easier to shuffle this around. E36 with Snap Jason Oblate probably are up here. I have them over Wolves is the real question for me. Because Wolves, I don't think I could have them over Wolves. I think this is fine with how everything pans out. Two NA teams. I know that's many, but looking at this, other regions are kind of power creeping into better tiers where you're kind of more comfortable with picking them to win land. But I don't think I don't think there's any way in hell. I think an NA team is not the favorite. But yeah, NA is still the best region, but there are regions are creeping in. I'll say that. But yeah, so final select here will probably be Zeta Alliance. I'll probably have Alliance over Zeta. Alliance, Zeta, Unlimit, Wolves, SR, E36, and um, Sentinels. The reason why I have SR so low, they did place fourth in scrims. Uh, Actually, I'll put them higher. I think those players deserve more respect than that. I think I can put. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so finals locks are going to be Alliance, Zeta, SR, Unlimited, Wolf, Sentinels, and 36. And this is where we go into our land faves. And first team is going to be this team is just these guys have stuck together longer than longer than longer than Aurora. The first split with effect with Aurora, and this might even be too high, but I them adding Aurora or effect kind of made them look really good. They only finished 15th in scrims, so you can say they don't deserve to be up here, but and maybe Alliance needs to go above them. But do think I do think they're probably gonna perform well in shocks of people. So that's my hot take for this. And then next, without a doubt, is probably gonna be NIP. They've crushed it this year. They've so far. They won Pro League, um, and they've finished 8th in scrims, but the storylines are there. It is there. You have Zero, who is probably the best MNK player in the world and second best player in the world. And then you have Hal, who is probably the best player in the world right now. Do I think he's the best controller player? Probably. Honestly, I think he's pretty up there. I think you could definitely make an argument for Kawhi and the effect, but I don't think them. I don't think they're better than Hal as a player because he's doing what they're doing plus IGL. I think this is gonna be my list for LAN this year. Sorry, I'm getting this a little bit out a little bit late. This stuff came up, but I still like enjoy making these types of videos, and I can't wait to kind of react to how these takes went when EWC does come to the conclusion. But if I do have to pick a winner, um, I think I kind of want to go with a shocking one, but I would like to see maybe if Visions win. Zach Mazer gets his due. I like Loader. I like Carter. They're probably a team that I would want to win. Nemesis definitely. I think getting Skittles a land win, getting Alba land win, and getting Sakura to land win. I think that would be a nice storyline too. But yeah, this is gonna be it. Let me know your opinions on this. I would love to see them down below in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean a lot, and get some more Apex guys and gals who love comp, to see these videos. Yeah, but I really enjoy it making these videos. So like, commenting, and subscribing go a long way. But that will be it. Thank you for watching.